Hello, my name is Rachel Torres. My presentation will focus on a landmark court case in favor of the Vulcan Society, which took on the Fire Department of New York City and proved that inappropriate hiring practices took place to minimize employment opportunities based on race. The case presented significantly highlights the role of personnel selection in the industrial organizational field. This presentation highlights unjust hiring practices by the City of New York FDNY department. This particular case emphasizes criteria used to deem applicants qualified to become a firefighter. It will also demonstrate how such selection tools are biased and prone to work in favor of an employer that wishes to reduce employment opportunities to individuals based on sex, race, religion, color, and ethnicity. In this particular case, personnel selection discrimination was in the form of race. The court case decision found that the FDNY utilized adverse impact practices to reduce employment opportunities for Black and Hispanic men. Adverse impact is used by organizations to discreetly engage in unjust hiring practices. For the FDNY, civil service exams are administered, which appear neutral, but it was proven that the context of the exam itself was meant to set up Black and Hispanic men for failure. The Vulcan Society is an organization of Black firefighters established in 1940. It was established to bring to light discriminatory employment practices against Black firefighters. In 2007, the Vulcan Society filed a class action lawsuit against the FDNY to bring an end to unjust hiring practices within the department. The FDNY was predominantly white, and it was determined to keep it that way by imposing hiring practices that were sure to eliminate the hiring of minority applicants. The hiring criteria disproportionately identified a large pool of unqualified minority candidates. In 2010, the city was found liable of discrimination under Title VII of the Civil Rights Act of 1964. It found that the City of New York and the FDNY discriminated against Black and Hispanic applicants through its written exams. The exams could not effectively prove that minority applicants were unfit to perform the job of a firefighter. The exams posed questions intentionally putting minorities at a disadvantage. The ruling also found that the minority applicants were also discriminated against under the 14th Amendment. Furthermore, the rulings found that the test administered could not determine whether or not an applicant was suitable to perform the job functions of a firefighter. This unjust selection practice disqualified eligible applicants. If it were not for the suit brought on by the Vulcan Society, such practices by the FDNY may not have been deterred. In the court case, the City of New York did not accept responsibility for its actions and believed the suit to be frivolous. The city also stood firm on its belief that the exam was created to identify qualified applicants. The ruling in this case was significant in that it highlighted disparate hiring practices used by the City of New York to discriminate against minorities and not afford them opportunities equal to their white counterparts in the FDNY. The ruling awarded a large sum of money to applicants that were disqualified from employment with the FDNY and reinstated seniority for qualified applicants. The ruling enforced hiring reforms, and the creation of future examinations were supervised and approved by the court. Since this ruling, the number of minorities in the FDNY has increased. This court case is a clear example of the impact such selection processes have on minorities. It is also a strong example of changes that can take place when employees bring action against employers for unjust hiring practices. Thank you for taking the time to listen to this presentation, and I look forward to your feedback and comments, and I will be happy to answer any questions you may have.